Hi guys, and welcome to your weekly horoscope. This one is for Monday the 6th of November going through until Sunday the 12th of November 2023. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. What I'm going to do in this horoscope is I'm going to go through each day of the week to see how the planets interact. And the point of these horoscopes then is to try and get a sense of what energy the planets create amongst themselves. And to understand that, because that's the energy that's going to influence all of us down here for the next week. And by looking at the good stuff, you're able to kind of maximize that and jump on it as it appears. And by becoming aware of some of the problems or potential challenges, you're able to either sidestep those or work through them. So what I noticed about this week is that there's a really nice sense of productivity that's kind of present all week, but it's kind of coupled with this wonderful, quiet sensitivity, which means you're kind of keeping your eyes and ears open, you're paying attention while you're busy getting things done. So there's this really nice sense of you operating on several different levels at the same time. Really, there isn't a lot of potential to make silly mistakes or, to overlook things, because you really are very present, very solid, and you're able to kind of multitask and jump from one thing to the next, but to do an effective job in each area, without getting overwhelmed and taking shortcuts and all of the things that can crop up. So starting on Monday, the 6th of November, we have the moon in Leo, which is a nice placement because the moon is your feelings. In Leo, it's about how can I do things that are enjoyable, that make me feel alive, that even put me in the limelight. It squares Mercury and Scorpio. So what can I do with my own feelings, with my own truth, and how can I make it bigger or manifested in a real world setting? And it quincunxes Neptune in Pisces and Pluto in Capricorn. So that's nice because water and earth, we've got a nice, again, combination of this is the dream, this is what I would like to happen, and these are the actual action steps on how I'm going to go about making it happen. So it's not just some abstract dream, it's you having an idea and then immediately saying, okay, well, step 1, 2, 3 are these. I'm going to do those and then let's have a look at where we're at. So it's not impractical, it's very, very practical. So pay attention if you can, both to the things that are going on internally and that are important to you and that you would like to manifest. So if you're getting ideas coming in all the time, they're not just there for, to distract you or to annoy you. These are valuable ideas that, if action, can really make changes in your life. Venus, the planet of love and beauty and creativity, that's in Virgo, and it trines Pluto, the planet of transformation and change, also in an earth sign, Capricorn. So both of these are urging you to start something new, to get creative, to take action steps which are really designed about providing value and enriching your life. So again, it's very much about where you're at. Have a look around, you understand everything. What can you now do to change things? So, if you were to align this with a job, I think you're kind of like a handyman here on Monday. No job is too big. You want to kind of take the bull by the horns and fix things, get things moving, make amendments, use your strength and your power to perfect things. So if you have a lot of things to do on Monday, really fill up that to-do list because you'll be able to knock them off really quickly without a lot of problem. The Virgo moon opposes Saturn in Pisces, and I don't know if I mentioned this, but the moon shifts out of Leo and goes into Virgo at 8:39 in the evening. So the Virgo moon is focused on the physical world and details and understanding, and it opposes, so it's 180 degrees away from Saturn in Pisces, and Saturn is structure, and in Pisces it's about spiritual structure. So there's a distance and a gap between what is real for me here and now, what can I work with and do and control, versus what does my higher self say and what's the bigger plan. So you see, this is the third time I'm repeating myself and I'm only on Monday, but you're operating on a spiritual level that you're present and aware there, and you're also very present in a physical sense. So those are the elements, earth and water. They're both receptive. So listen to the feelings, ideas, dreams, and opportunities that come along on Monday. Take as much action as you can and really be pleasantly surprised that these things lead you into an area that you want to be going in. Mercury in Scorpio trines Neptune in Pisces. So your feelings are very, very switched on. If something is being said or there's a plan and you're kind of going along, and suddenly something resists internally and it's like, hang on a moment, this doesn't sit right with me. Please listen to that. It'll save you a lot of time if you speak up in the moment rather than leaving it till later on. Because that's the kind of thing we always kind of play by ear, isn't it? Like if you're in a meeting and something occurs to you, then you may not mention that to not disrupt the flow of the meeting. And at other times, someone may say something which is a huge kind of life-changing decision, and you're just like, oh, was that in passing? And you let it slide by, and then afterwards you're confronted with the consequences. So on Monday, it's important to pay attention, to speak up in the moment, because there can be consequences when decisions are made on Monday. So overall here, you start the week with a really upbeat kind of sense of willingness. You feel able and capable. So you'll want to see things moving. And the great thing about the start of the week is that you can heavily influence situations and you can heavily influence the outcome with your input. So whatever you want to get out of the situation, make sure again you speak up and you share those ideas. And also be aware that those things do have consequences, and they can have good consequences and bad consequences. So just before you kind of make your stand or you kind of say, this is what's going to happen, make sure that you think that through and that you're willing to face the outcome. And play the tape forward, ideally to say, this is the outcome I want. So this is the decision I'm going to make, and that's what's easy to kind of defend and to stand up for. As the day progresses, you may experience some frustration in your relationships. And the key thing is that it's important to listen to your gut, but also to listen to the other person. And if you're trying to balance speaking versus listening, then focus more on listening and again, being receptive, because things will be revealed to you. But, someone will reveal themselves through what they're saying to you, only if they're not constantly being interrupted. So give someone the time and space to really share what they want to say. Tuesday, the 7th of November, we've got the Virgo moon forming a trine with Jupiter in Taurus. So now we're in the realms of Earth, right? The moon in Virgo likes order. Jupiter, the lucky planet in Taurus, says take action based on that order you've created and you'll have a good outcome. The moon then sextiles the sun in Scorpio, so your identity in the water sign of Scorpio. I want to get to the truth of a situation so that I can take charge of it and ideally heal it or transform it for something better. And in quincunx is Chiron in Aries. So I want to use my intellect and my ability to plan, to fix my life here and to heal my circumstances. So if you want to change your job, if you want to change your living situation or the way you eat or some addiction, Tuesday is really a good day to say, this is it. The plan has been kind of drawn out, and now we're actually going to follow this plan. So Tuesday the 7th is all about taking action and getting things done, particularly getting things done in your personal life. That's going to be your top priority. So if it is personal things like work or addictions or something like that, really look at it. And it doesn't matter if you've made changes 20 times in the past or never before. It's now time to take that first step and to start a new journey. Ultimately, if your life doesn't look the way you want it to be on Tuesday, you'll be very clear on, okay, this fits, this doesn't. And you'll be super motivated about then making those changes rather than saying, oh, wouldn't it be nice if this and this and this happened? It's like, well, I'm actually going to go about getting the visa and then moving there and starting the business and doing all these things that I've got planned. Wednesday, the 8th of November is really complicated. We've got loads of stuff interacting. First of all, we have the moon in Virgo, which is nice because the moon in Virgo isn't hardly ever overwhelmed, right? It likes as much information as it can possibly get. So Wednesday is all about learning, but everything is thrown at you. So I'm just going to read you the connections the moon makes. So it opposes Neptune in Pisces. So it's not so interested in spiritual messages. It already feels consistent and knowledgeable. It trines Pluto in Capricorn. I want to figure out how I can take steps to make things grow and happen. Sextiles Mercury in Scorpio. Based on my feelings, Mars in Scorpio, I am driven to get things done, to take charge of them, to make them fit. Trines Uranus in Taurus. The world is my oyster and it's pliable. The world is moldable. And I'm the one who's going to take the Play-Doh and who's going to create something out of these raw materials that I've been given. So again, I'm in charge. I'm the boss. It's kind of like the Emperor in the Tarot. And it quincunx is Chiron in Aries. So that's this reminder or this sense that keeps coming up that, excuse me, if you want to help yourself, you've got to do it for yourself. No one else is going to do this for you. So it's very much along the lines of self-sufficiency, please. Venus enters Libra at 10:30 in the morning, so that opens things up for you and other people to get along more, to feel a greater sense of connection. And also, if you're a creative type of person, or you're getting creative with your circumstances, it allows you to think outside of the box and again to produce something beautiful. Venus in Libra then quincunxes Saturn in Pisces. So, this kind of keeps saying to me that the thing you're not going to be particularly tortured over this week is your sense of spiritual connection. I think that's very much in place, and that's why you're so able to listen very easily. Mercury in Scorpio sextiles Pluto in Capricorn. So this week, I really think this is a rule for the entire week. If you feel strongly, if it feels right, and some work is involved, really just devote yourself to it, throw yourself into it. You'll see wonderful outcomes as a result. The Sun in Scorpio quincunxes Chiron in Aries. So really, the standard is very stringent, as in these are my feelings, this is my truth, this is what feels good, and this is what feels bad. And I'm not going to tolerate things that feel bad as such. So it's all very black and white, and at the center of this all is my feelings are very important, more so than what the institution says or what the rules are or what my friend says. So Wednesday, I wouldn't be too hard on myself about that because it is a complicated day. You've got the moon being hit by all these things. There's a lot of changeable energy floating around, so it may be difficult to get your bearings. So the pressure's there already, so don't add more pressure by guilting yourself. You may find it hard to decide what to focus on Wednesday. And if you feel like you're just doing a bit here and a bit there and it just gets wishy-washy, you may become frustrated and irritable. So try and minimize and focus on the things that you can get done and really pay attention to fully. And also the solution is to find ways simply to channel your energy, whether that's work-related or not. So just something that allows you to kind of get out of yourself. So whether that's pursuing a hobby or doing some sort of exercise, a spiritual practice, or by kind of connecting with other people and sharing your feelings, it's better out than in, basically, on Wednesday, because it's just too much. Even with the moon in Virgo absorbing all of this like a sponge, even with that, there'll be more than enough and there'll be overspill. Thursday, the 9th of November, we've got the moon going into Libra at 8 minutes past 9 in the morning. So same as Venus in Libra. So this really opens you up to the community and relationships and starting new relationships and perfecting existing ones. So I would say from Wednesday now until the end of the week, relationships become easier and more of they start to represent more of a kind of support system in your life rather than a chore or a job. The Libra moon conjuncts Venus in Libra, so love and connection and creativity. It quincunxes Saturn in Pisces and Jupiter in Taurus. So that's interesting because on Thursday, if you meet someone who you feel totally is aligned with you, like you meet someone and they seem familiar or you just resonate with their energy, really pay close attention to that because there's the potential to meet someone who is ideal, the soulmate. And it's kind of like the spiritual and the physical clicking together. That's what I said at the beginning of this reading, your ability to kind of operate on these different levels. And that awareness allows you to just kind of connect on an energetic level with someone or something that really, really, really works. So if, you have a nice exchange and usually it's like, okay, well, I have 50 exchanges in a day. This is just another one. Let me dismiss it and move on. Don't. Pay attention to that and see if you can kind of expand it and make it something more solid in your life. Overall, on Thursday, I think it's important to take a moment to gather your energy and to find a renewed sense of balance and comfort because, you are really, really present and that can be somewhat exhausting. The practical circumstances of your life and the people in your life will not, like I said, present an issue, but rather will be super helpful in your life and will be massively kind of influential in giving you this sense of security and structure. So if you do feel a little wobbly by Thursday, then it is a good moment to just say, stop. I'm not going to just keep working. I'm just going to take a moment to reflect. And then if you can, share about it, open up about it and express your feelings, or again, find that outlet to just kind of dump some of this extra emotional stuff that's going on, because it is intense. On Friday, the 10th of November, we've got Mercury going into Sagittarius, and that's nice because the communication planet in Sagittarius is very much about adventure and having fun. It's not dark and difficult, it's simple and future-oriented. So that simplifies things. And you can even team up with other people and say, this is what we all want to do right now, let's do it. And it's no deeper than that. So if you think of Scorpio diving into the pool, the sign that comes after, Sagittarius, is really about, breaking through the surface of the water and then getting out of the pool and going for a run. It's a different approach. So Mercury in Sagittarius squares Saturn in Pisces. So I want to explore what makes me feel alive, both spiritually and physically. So adventures, new experiences. The Libra moon opposes Chiron in Aries. It will help me to have friends, to have a partner, to have family, to have people who love me. That's what you've been where you've been coming from pretty much all week. It's really, how is this all going to influence and affect me? So you're not forgetting about yourself, which is a good thing. The Libra moon also quincunxes Uranus and Taurus. So there is the potential for something miraculous and earth-shattering to happen in your relationships here on Thursday and Friday. It looks really good for that. So with Mercury shifting into Sagittarius on Friday, life does become less complicated. Your focus narrows on one or two things that really fascinate you, and those will kind of draw you in. So it's less likely that you become distracted. If you do find yourself being hooked in by something and really like, wow, this is just thrilling, I can't wait to kind of learn more and find out more, pay attention to that, like the right partner coming into your life. If there's a new relationship that appears in this sense, as in I can't wait to learn more, to turn the page, then it is worthwhile to pursue. Take a moment and say, okay, rather than moving on to the next thing, how can I progress this relationship or this new kind of thing that I've discovered? How can I slowly digest this, consume more of it, bring more of it into my life? So, and again, no one's going to be able to decide that other than you. So it's really important to have a kind of word with yourself this week and to give yourself permission to pursue things that you enjoy and that you desire. No one else knows what's on your bucket list. If you want to achieve all of those things or experience all of those things, you have to do them for yourself. And this is the kind of week where you can make that happen. On Saturday, the 11th of November, we've got the Libra moon forming a square with Pluto in Capricorn, and it quincunxes Neptune in Pisces. So again, I want to work towards making the dream occur when it comes to my relationships and the way my life looks. The moon goes into Scorpio at 7:39 in the evening. Oh yeah, okay. So we had the lift of Mercury going from Scorpio into Sagittarius, so things getting lighter. But now with the moon going into Scorpio, it puts you square back in the middle of these are my feelings. So that's actually very helpful because the two previous days, Thursday and Friday, was good to start new relationships and to connect with new people. By Saturday, with the moon now going into Scorpio, the penny immediately drops, as in this is how I really feel about this person. So you can trust your gut. The Scorpio moon trines Saturn in Pisces. So spiritually, I've landed here. I'm the oracle. I know what's going on. So let your intuition guide you the most on Saturday and really choose that over every other source of information. You're going to be right. Mars in Scorpio opposes Uranus in Taurus. So it's your will that can move mountains, you see. So that's why you have such a great connection to your intuition and what you deem to be worthy and what works and what doesn't, so that you can make all these changes happen yourself. So with all of that perspective potentially opening up on Saturday, it's a good time to take off if you can. And it's also a good time to socialize and to brainstorm, because a lot of ideas will be generated through that. So new ideas will appear when you, again, step outside of yourself, and the information that you gather is going to be really, really useful, and you can apply it to your actual work or your circumstances to affect all these changes that you want. So it's a good day to make big commitments, to make big plans, to sign a deal, or to start a joint venture. It's really about let's make the dream happen in earnest. Finally, on Sunday, the 12th of November, we've got the Scorpio moon opposing Jupiter in Taurus, and it quincunxes Chiron in Aries. And this is a wonderful little survivor day, where it's like you're sitting on a beach or an island and it's like, what is the dream and how am I going to make this happen? Little old me against the world. It's really that sense of the hero writing his or her own story. And there's this amazing sense of self-belief and kind of camaraderie and support of the self. So if you struggle to have a positive kind of perception of yourself or a positive outlook on what you're doing, really check in with yourself on Sunday, because you really have kind of a respect for being scrappy and for getting up after you fall and for trying again. You know, all those really hard-working kind of qualities you see in yourself, and you kind of give yourself a pat on the back for them. So if you're at odds with yourself, it's a nice day to make peace with yourself, which is important that we all do that, I feel. Why do I feel that? Because there's enough conflict out there. You don't need it at home in here. So Sunday is a good day to really just kick back and to enjoy the simple life. Being out in nature, chatting to friends, family, all of that's going to feel super wholesome and like you're recharging your batteries. And you certainly deserve it at the end of this week, because you have been paying so much attention. You've gathered great ideas and have probably actioned them already. So you deserve a little bit of a break and you deserve a good time. So I hope that gives you an idea of what you'll be working with here this week. I hope you have a fantastic week. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on Book Your Reading to order your reading with me. In my personal readings, I use astrology, the tarot, numerology, and my intuition. I combine all of those things to answer any questions you may have. To draw up your birth chart in astrology, I need your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. If you don't have the time of birth, then please order a chart rectification with me. That's a process where you send me 10 or more significant life events and I can actually work out your time of birth manually. And that's important because the chart changes every 4 minutes. So the more accurate the time, the more accurate the chart. And that chart is like a blueprint of who you are. So if you have any questions about, what am I supposed to be doing with my life, or work-wise, or what's coming up in my relationships, or should I just accept certain things, or can I work through them and change them? The chart tells me about all of those things. So if you want some clarity, also by looking at the progress chart and using the tarot, and then the transits in astrology and astrocartography, I can see what's coming up in future and even how particular locations will affect you. So if you're thinking about moving, or you've got a few places that you're undecided about and you want a second pair of eyes, please do get in touch with me for a personal reading via the website, gregoryscott.com. Have an amazing week. Oh, and by the way, thank you to everyone who's joined as a member of this channel. I really appreciate it. If you would like to become a member, then check out the channel page. And thank you to everyone who's supported me already. Again, have a fabulous week and I'll speak to you soon. All the best.